how do you tell if your citrine beads are fake? As someone who has been beading since they were 5 years old and a rock collector that long, I'm going to tell you exactly how to spot fake citrine beads. Now, it's not super easy, but I'm going to give you my tips that I do. Number one, I do not buy beads at Joann's or Michael's. That is citrine. You can find like some cheap amethyst there too, for sure. You can. But citrine specialty beads, I will only buy them in person where I can physically look at them at a gem show. It is too hard to tell from the photos on Etsy whether it is real or not. All right, fake number one here, the problem is color. We're also seeing a lot of cloudiness. These two things together, red flag for me. This is not authentic citrine. Authentic citrine is not this neon color. There is some varieties that are a little more neon spectrum, but they do not carve them into beads. Next here, what we're seeing, you see a lot of this white stuff here on the beads. Now normally you can have white inclusions on citrine, that's not uncommon, but when we see a lot of it, and then we see it paired with our red flag number two, which is kind of this orangish yellow color that looks very similar to heat treated amethyst, this for me is a red flag that it's potentially heat treated amethyst. And again, when I see lots of the white inclusions, I am more hesitant to make that purchase. Now here we see again that neon color, but you're seeing really beautiful clarity. And I want you all to know that quartz can indeed be dyed, carved into beads. And once it is polished, if you dip it in acetone, the polish may not come off and you would never know it's dyed. Now I'm going to show you some natural citrine beads. And again, it's so hard to tell unless you're in person, in my opinion. But what I look for here is color variation. So the beads are not all solid the same color. If they're all 100% the same color, might be okay, but for me that's a bit of a red flag. You also see we don't see a ton of those white inclusions. Now one of these beads I'll show has one teeny white inclusion on it. That I'm not worried about, okay? It's when all the beads are having that I get a little concerned. We're also seeing more of this honey amber color. We're seeing some pale yellow too. Now the higher the grade, you might have more color uniformity, but the thing is that when we're looking at the fakes, they were all like neon yellow. Other things I look for too, sometimes you'll look for inclusions, again, that's more of a quality thing, but usually I want to see this color in person, a little bit of variation in the color of the beads. And again, I only buy citrine beads in person at gem fairs. And you really need to know your stuff if you're buying citrine beads, because even at a gem fair, I'll go and there'll be hundreds of vendors and maybe 2 will be selling authentic citrine. So you really want to inspect it in person. If you like learning about crystals and rocks and you watched this far, hit that like button, give me a follow. I'm Bella from Bella and Crystals.